the answer. The last.
Okay, so let me write. So this is what I think. Like a string is like having A, B, C.
Yes, ABC
And
characters, right? Yes.
yeah, so if I have to multiply, let me see if this will run. Why
Mm-hmm.
my number? So what is it? So, no,
Okay.
let me
So
type
that
this directly. Yeah, okay.
mm,
I want to see if
mm,
it could run. Let me type this directly on the run. So let me type it directly. If it will work. A,
mm-hmm.
B, C, I, I, two.
Do you know why it didn't run? Because
Mm,
it's expected to put quotation marks around them
but this one, yeah,
to
sorry. Yeah, that's another thing
so
I wanted to ask as well. So there was no quotation around. I think that's actually my question.
okay.
Like, is it because there was no quotation?
Yes, yes,
This one. Is
yes,
that why it came out like that?
yes. Now,
Mm,
let me explain now. So if
okay.
you see what you just did now, that's that the without the quotation mark, I actually put it intentionally. Why? Because A is already a declared variable. We declared it at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay. So it has changed in the course of the program. At the point where we did that string, turn it to a string, A,
Mm-hmm.
that's that A in between the parentheses. It
Just
was
thinking.
intentional. Yes. So the whole idea is that we want to use it for string multiplication. We talked about string multiplication in the last class that when you
Mhm.
want to do repeated concatenation, right? You
Yeah.
can do stuff like that. So we will not be able to achieve that string um, multiplication if it was still an integer. So the first thing I did was to change it to what? A string. Now, now that you have done it like the way you put those quotation marks, it's no more the variable A that will be there. It's instead is the character A that will be there. So you can remove the quotation marks. It's fine. So the only thing that you need to understand now is that the content of A after that line executes is going to be whatever was inside A before, but this time we can't use it for calculations like mathematical, like normal addition. It will now be a string form of, maybe let's pretend that it was 188. It will be a string form of 188. So what you just need to have at the back of your mind is this. There can be a string form of what you would have called a number, but in that string form, you can't use it for normal calculations, normal mathematical calculations like 1 plus 1, 2. You understand? Because at that point, it's no longer a number. It's now a string.
Yeah. So
Does,
because I moved it around. I noticed it was taking A here. So I now moved it at the start and then
okay.
it cried because there was no maybe if I put quotation marks here, maybe it would have run. So it was saying that no, it can't take this and all that. So I just moved it around and I was like, okay, so it was taking this. So I was like, oh, it's taking the last A thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I was going to ask, then I had to leave the house. So I just put on the computer again. Maybe I would have tweaked it some more. To see. Yeah, before
Okay.
coming on. So I understand.
Okay. So how many of them were you able to correctly predict?
All of them actually, apart from this
Really?
one. So what? Yeah. So what I thought this one was going to be is not what it turned
Mm-hmm.
out to be. So I actually thought it was
Oh,
going to be, that was going to be 188.
okay. Okay. But now you now know why it turned out like that, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Okay. So at that point, it has turned to a string. So the same thing that would have happened to a string in string multiplication will now happen to it. So that's why I intentionally put that one as the last one, so that
Okay.
you could compare it with what happened to when it was not a string.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So did any other question arise? Was there any other question that came up in the course of your...
None for now.
Okay, okay,
Mm.
okay.
Okay.
All right. So let's see. Today, I wanted us to look at data types. So, of course, we already know some basic data types. If I asked you now, which data types have you observed in your interaction with Python as a language, what would come to mind? What would you think I was asking?
Oh, like numerical data type, string. So the numerical now you have integers, floats, then
Yes,
string,
yes.
boolean.
Okay,
Which other one?
okay. Yes, yes, you're right. All right. So let's see those data types play out. Just like you have that str function that converts from one data type to another. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a function called type that helps us to know the particular data type that's in effect at that point in time. So let's just look at how that function can be used. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you want to open a new file, or do you want us to
Yeah.
continue with this?
Yeah.
Since it's
Open
still
it.
related, let's open a new one, Abby. So you can call
Mm.
it data types.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's
All right. So um all right, so let's create some variables. So which letter should we use? We can use letters, we can use words, so that we understand that a variable name can be not, it doesn't have to just be a single letter. It can be a word, like the word num, num. You can use
Mm-hmm.
that as your variable name, an identifier. Okay. Okay, by now I'm sure you've seen that word identifier. Identifier is simply a means of uniquely naming something. It can be a function, it can be a variable. So the whole idea is that it's a name, and names must start with letters. Okay, letters, and you can have numbers somewhere later in the name of the variable, but it has to start with a letter. So let's just use the word num, num, for this one. So put num. Okay. All right. So okay, what should we assign to num? Okay, let's assign 5 to num, and then we'll have another variable called num1 below it. Num1. Then we'll assign, let's assign 2 to num1. Okay. So and then we'll have another variable called ans, ans. So ans, okay, we'll assign num divided by num1.
Which division? Single.
Just normal, yes, single one. So if I want to be more specific, I'll say integer division. That means it's double.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and hit enter. Now, we're going to print the type. We're going to print the data type. Remember that type is a function that returns the data type of whatever you send to it as an argument. Okay, the argument is what you have between the parentheses, the brackets. So let's use our print statement and then open you open your what do you call it? You open your parentheses. In between the parentheses for print, you have another function called type.
Capital letter T, right?
No, lowercase, so lowercase.
Oh, it's not a keyword. Or is a
Yeah.
keyword,
It's
but that's how it is.
good. Now that type is a function, so that means it should have its own parentheses inside the
Oh,
parentheses. You get?
ah,
N-
like
Not
this.
like that. So when I say it should have its own parentheses, you after the E, you have open parentheses.
Okay, 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 okay. Like I'm going to
That's what I
put
meant.
something. Okay.
Exactly. Now in between there, we're going to put ans. We're going to so that line is simply saying I want to see what the data type of ans is. So I'm not just seeing
Oh,
what is in ans. Do you get? I want to see, is it an integer? Is it a string? Is it a boolean? Is it a float? A float, a float is a number that has decimal point. Okay.
yes.
All right. So let's go ahead and just try this out. We'll extend this example. So you can go ahead and run this. Let's see what we come up with. Okay. So what did you see?
Class float. So the float, the answer
Exactly.
will give a float value.
Exactly. So what that tells you is that when you do a division, even if it was integers that the numerator was an integer, the denominator was an integer, the answer will automatically be what? A float. And that doesn't mean that it even has to be a whole number. Let's imagine that we had 10 divided by 5, which is normally 2, right? It will still give you 2.0. So by default, anytime you do a division, Python
Mm,
says the answer must be what? A float.
float. Okay.
Yes. So you can see how the type function just uniquely shows you what the data type is. So if there's any time that you're confused as far you're not sure if the data type integer or is it float, you're not sure what it is, just use the
Mm,
type function within a print function and it will show you, it will display what that type is.
okay.
Yes.
I see. But
All
what if
right.
you're the one that wrote it yourself? You still need to check the type.
What if what?
I'm the one that wrote
I didn't get your
yeah, what if I'm the one that wrote the variables, everything? I'm the one that wrote everything out. So, sorry, let me start from the beginning. So, the reason why I would assume I'll do this is because I went to someone's program and then I saw this, so I want to know what type of variable is inside, right? That's my assumption.
yes,
So I'm asking if I am the
yes.
one who wrote the program down, the code, does it make sense for me to still do this?
To find out. No, you wouldn't need to, since you already know. You already know the data type that's there.
Okay.
You wouldn't need to. Or now you now see what this thing tells you is that because with Python you can also create your own, let me say, data types. Let me just put it that way. But in a nice way, what we actually call it is your own class, your own object. Okay. So creating your own class and by extension creating your own object will now mean that if somebody wants to know the class or the data type of what you've created, the person needs this type function to also be able to tell. So of course that
Okay.
means the person is not the person that created it. Maybe he just wants to know. The program documentation may not have given that, oh, in this program there are certain objects that were created by the programmer. But what is the data type of the object was not specified. So this type will also show you what that data type is. So what we are looking at today, you can just think about it this way, that Python comes pre-built with some certain data types. integer, which is int. You've already seen str, that's for string, and then you've seen float. So with those pre-built data types, this type function can give you the data type by using it. Yeah. Okay. So this is just an application for type. So let's move on. So let's see for Boolean variables, true, false. Okay. So let's go back to the program side. You can hit enter at that point. Okay. So let's use another. Is that?
I said this is where you are referring to.
Yes. Yes, the source code. Yes. So let's create another variable called bnum. Small letter B. B as in B for bnum. Okay. And then assign true to it. TRUE. Remember, it's not a string, so don't put it in quotation marks.
Yeah, but it's a lowercase.
Yes, all lowercase. No, sorry. For Python, I think it's uppercase, capital TRUE. So, okay. So let's so you can copy that line that you have, print type ans, and instead of ans you would put what do you call it, bnum in between. Yes. Okay.
Should I run it?
Yes, go ahead. Okay. Okay. So that's the Boolean data type. That's how it looks. Okay. All right. So maybe we'll move on. If there's any other one that you want to, you can just try it out on your own. To know the data type. I just felt we should just do a bit of trials with this. Of course, you know that division will always yield what? An integer. Okay. So so just remember that that aspect. All right. So let's consider what you might call type conversion. So if you based on that homework that you did has one example of type conversion. That was where you are converting an integer to what? A string. So let's look at what type conversion is all about. So let's see. Okay, so we'll use these variables that are here in front of us. Let's look at them. We have num and we have num1. Okay. Okay, so let's pretend that you want to convert from, say, a float to an integer, right? You want to convert from float to an integer. The whole idea now is that it's possible that Python does not entertain a calculation that has mixed data types involved. So if it finds, for instance, a float divided by an integer, it will convert that integer implicitly to a float and then do the division and then give you the answer as float. Okay, but let's see how we can do it ourselves. So,
but what? Sorry, my question is, why will you not convert it to an integer?
So converting it to an integer will mean that it's going to drop the decimal part, and that means it's going to lose. You're going to lose what do you call it? Some degree of precision, and that even as small as 0.1 can make a difference in some applications. Do you get? So if it converts it to an integer, that 0.1 will go, or 0.001 or 0.003. You get, the decimal part will go. So instead of converting float to integer, it will convert from integer to float. So it doesn't lose anything when you are converting integer to float. Instead, it will just add 0.0. Do you get? You don't lose anything.
It just wants to make sure it doesn't lose any value.
Yes, in that case. So the only time that it doesn't care about losing value is when you explicitly say, okay, you want an what do you call it, integer division. That double slash, remember the one that has double slash? That's slash.
Yeah.
That
Yes.
will definitely take off any integer part in the answer.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. All right. So let's just look at a few conversions. So we can convert from integer to float. To do that is very easy in Python. So we'll say, let's go to the next line and just say print the print statement. Yeah. And then inside the parentheses, you have float, F-L-O-A-T, all lowercase, with an open parenthesis. And then let's use num. Let's see how it will show. NUM. Yes. All right. So let's see how that shows up.
5.0.
Exactly. So you can see that thing I was saying, right? It will take the integer and add the 0.0 to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
Now, so what I just did now was to convert from integer to float. Don't worry, we'll come to converting from float to integer and you will see what happens in that case. So another instance where you can convert to float, we're going to do some things now. So that num there, we want to assign something else to num. So go ahead on the next line and type num again. But this time we're going to assign a string to it. We're going to assign a string. In this case, the string will have something like a decimal point in it. So yes, you can use either double quotes or single quotes. But if you use single quotes, you must also end with single quotes. Okay. So let's just put 10.2. Now, take note, this 10.2 right now, you can't use it for normal calculation. Okay. So the whole idea is that there are some times that data that you want to use for calculation is given to you as a string. How do you convert it from a string to what? A float, which is without losing the decimal part that was typed there, so that it can now be used for calculation. So go ahead and copy that same line, that line above it, that prints floats, then you can paste underneath there. Okay, so let's see what it will show now.
Okay, so it now printed it, you say converted it to a float.
Thank you. It has converted it to a float. Do you see that? So if you now wanted to use it for calculation, it will make sense. Now let's play around with this thing. So let's use it as it is before it was. Do you know that it still contains 10.2 as a string? I hope you know it still contains 10.2.
Yeah, it does, but it cannot do anything with it.
It cannot do normal calculation with it, but we can still do some things with it. Let's try that string multiplication. So go to the next line and do print. So let's do a print, but this time we're going to say num asterisk 3. Num asterisk 3. So you are simply telling it to create 3 instances of num. Let's see what it will show. It's just to show you that it's still a string. It has not changed. Can you see what it's showing?
Yeah. Exactly.
So you can. This is not what you would typically expect in a normal calculation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mhm. But now, let's say that you want to now use it as a what? As a float that, in terms of like normal calculation, like 10.2 times 3 point something, stuff like that. Let's now
Mm-hmm.
see how to go about it. So on the next line, back to source code. On
Mm-hmm.
the next line, you will do something similar to what you did in norm.
Your line is breaking.
Can you hear me now?
Say again.
Okay. Norm
Uh-huh.
assignment
Uh-huh.
operator. Is it better now?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I said norm assignment operator float norm.
Together. Like
Of
this.
course, the norm will be in parentheses. So it's the float.
Bracket.
Yes. No, you do the parentheses around norm on the right hand side.
Hmm? This now, right?
Yes. Perfect. Okay. So now, you can now print. Just so in this case now, let's just print norm. Let's see what's inside.
This.
Okay, so now, so instead of just printing norm, let's do norm asterisk 3. Let's see if norm actually changed to those.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh-uh. Yes, it did.
So you can see can you see the difference now?
Oh, okay. So this one went from, hold on. I thought they also use input function to change, but it's only
Yeah,
for,
input
okay, to
function.
change from string. Yeah. So I guess that's for string.
If you use input function simply means you are typing it from your keyboard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
so
anytime you're typing
it's
your keyboard, it's actually a string you're typing in. You know that, right?
yes, yes.
So this whole idea is just to establish the fact that you must convert from your string that your keyboard is giving you to either integer or float, depending on what you need in your program.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So was that what you expected to be the answer? 10 points. What was that? 10.2 times
Point times three.
3, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's the answer. Yeah.
Uh, that 0.599999. It's
Mm,
what
for
I expected.
precise.
Is it not 10.6?
It's yeah, it's 30.6. I'm like, what is the 59999 for?
And it's just Python's way of representing float numbers, the precision thing. So sometimes that's why sometimes I think most people, if they are doing something that is a program that they are not sure, they will rather want to stick with integers. That's okay. It's kind of predictable and all that. But then, when one is, you still have to deal with a float, then your best bet is that in your program, you should put print statements at strategic places so that you can see what your variable is at any point in time. So, yeah. All right. So, do you have any questions so far?
I don't think I've seen this before. The like moving from float to integer.
Okay, from float to integer. Okay. This one we're just doing from integer to float. So the next one will
No,
do that is from.
no, me, I even mean like I've not really. So what I used to do, what I used to assume is that it's only when you do that division, it's either you do the single or the double division. That's when you're changing to either integer
Oh,
or float. Yes.
okay,
So I
okay,
don't.
okay, okay,
Yeah. So this, like, I'm trying to grasp this one. Mm-hmm.
okay, I understand.
So
Okay.
what's next?
All right. So now we'll be looking at how we can convert from float to integer. And yes, basically for now, float to integer. At least we have seen from string to float, right? What we did back there was actually string to float by doing that float norm after we said norm assignment operator 10.2 in quotation marks. Okay, so let's look at integer. So the next line you're going to have is
Sorry,
um
let me just put comments on it.
okay, yes, go ahead, go ahead. Okay, so that first one was conversion from integer to float.
Sure. This one is string. This one is string
Okay,
to,
yeah, that one is string to float, yes.
and this one now is integer. This one I'm writing now. Yeah, I'm with you now.
Okay, okay, all right. Okay.
Okay, sorry, I'm saying something. I think this one is still.
No, don't that one was not actually integer to float. Oh.
Yeah, I see.
So the you are putting the what do you call it? Um the comment after the one that is defining, right? Is that how you are doing it? Or are you putting it before it?
Before it.
Okay, before it. Okay. So that one was conversion from string to float. The second one was actually conversion from yes, integer to float. Okay, yes. So that was where we changed this thing. Was it okay? Wait, oh, you know that this one has we've changed it from
String.
um,
You
so
change it from.
it wasn't really that second one wasn't really conversion from integer to float. It was conversion. It was us replacing the string with the float
Float.
equivalent of that string. Do you understand? So it's possible for you to do a conversion, but you didn't change the content of um, the variable.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So we've not done
Okay.
the conversion to. Yeah, so it,
Yes.
it will help me remember it.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's go for integer now. So we will do the same thing with integer, but we will use now. Now this one is already norm is already a float, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you print the content of norm is going to tell us 10.2. Am I right? If you print the content of norm, it's 10.2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
No, it's the other way from float to integer, not integer to float.
Okay. So
Uh, okay. All right. So the content of norm right now is 10.2. So let's, what will we expect it to be after this statement? So the statement we're going to have now is norm. We're going to have print. So let's do a print on it. Print, and then within the print statement parentheses, you will have int, and then open parentheses, and then you can put norm there and close the parentheses. Double close the parentheses for the int and close the parentheses for print. Okay.
Mm.
So you can go ahead now and let's see what is going to show.
So that's taking out the.
Exactly. That's taking out the decimal points and what comes after it.
Okay.
But remember, the content of norm is still what? 10.2. That's the conversion was done. The conversion did not overwrite what is inside norm. So for us to overwrite it, we will have to do that norm assignment operator int norm. Did you get that?
Okay, like this one.
Yes,
As a
yes,
replacement. Okay.
yes,
Okay, put that again.
yes,
Replacing float.
yes. Mm-hmm.
Now becomes norm pros.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. All right. So in the next statement, the next line now, you just print norm. Just print it normal norm. You're not doing any conversion again since you have done the overwriting.
Okay. So now the norm contains an integer value.
10, exactly. Exactly. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's do the same thing that we did for float. Find one more conversion. So with this time we're going to use another variable. So we've used num1. So let's have a variable called num2. And then that variable called num2 would have a string assigned to it, a string that's, let's just say 15 in quotation
Okay,
mark.
sorry, hold on. So are we doing the from integer to float now?
No, from string to integer.
Okay.
From string to integer, yes.
Okay, so num2 15. Right?
Yes. Yes. Okay. So in this case now, we have a string uh, 15 in there. Let's just we'll do the same thing we did for that float. Let's still
Okay.
demonstrate a string. We'll do a string multiplication for it. So you do your print, and then we're going to have num2 times 3. That's asterisk 3 in between the print. Okay. Okay.
15.
So yes, so we can see clearly that it's still a string now, right? Okay. So let's now convert it properly to an integer. So on the next line after that, we're going to have num2 assignment operator int bracket num2 close bracket.
Okay. Okay, so
Okay.
now is
Then you know what I want to do now next, right?
yeah, you're replacing the int with the string.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so I should print
Yes, so you're going to print num2 asterisk 3. Let's see what we show now.
So it is now an integer.
Yes, exactly. So it's now giving you the proper integer multiplication that we expected. Okay, so do you want to put a comment there for that one?
No, definitely. I'm already on it.
Okay.
Okay. Mhm.
Okay. All right. So let's see. This is string to integer. Okay. So I think for okay, let's just do one with boolean. You know, I want to believe that boolean is just two values, true or false, right?
Yeah.
Or before we go to boolean, is there anyone that you want us to try out? I think we've done
I think we've
with
covered everything.
integer, right? We've
Mm-hmm.
covered. Okay, so for boolean, the ones that I expect to, of course, you might see some surprises. Maybe I will do you try that one like an exercise. Um, True is usually equivalent in integer 1, and then false is usually 0, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try something out. We'll on the next line we'll have two different variables. B, we'll call the first one B true, and then the second one B false. B true we have
B
1 as
true.
B true. Uh-huh. And then exactly 1 assigned to it. That 1 there is an integer, right?
Mhm.
And then false we have 0 assigned to it. Okay. All right. So let's use a print statement to see if our expectations are what will show up. So your print statement for B true, you will have print bool, just like you did int and float. So bool too is a function on its own. Bool, open parenthesis, B true, close parenthesis, and then close for, yeah. So let's see what we show.
True.
Okay, so that's expected, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's do for B false. Can do the same thing, but we'll change it from true to false.
So it's either this or that.
Exactly. Makes it easy. But now the funny thing about what do you
So
call it?
yeah.
Boolean variable.
Mhm.
The aspect that you now deal with them, you see it more with your if statements, with your loops, things like that. That's where you see Boolean values really showing themselves.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So do you want to try? Let's try something else. So let's change that one to another
I don't hear you
value like
anymore.
5. Leave I did it right. Can just change. Oh, okay. You can change that one to 5.
Then
Let's see if it will still give us true, because there can only be true or false. I'm expecting that 5 should give us true. Okay. So that's the whole idea.
Oh, it's still
So the
saying
whole idea, yes, it's still saying true. So what you can conclude, safely conclude, is that any value other than 0, right,
true.
will be seen in a Boolean conversion as true. Once it's 0, it's false. You
Okay.
understand? Uh, once it's
Yeah,
0,
because I
it's
put
false.
0 before and it turned false. But
Yes,
the one under, so with the false one, once it's above 0, is true.
yes.
Okay. Because I interchanged it and saw that it's flipped. Okay. No, that's an interesting.
Okay. All right. So I think this for type conversion, I think we can. This is kind of exhaustive for now. There are
Mhm.
other data types, but we can't. There will be no. I don't think we should really look at them. Maybe as we are going forward, we'll be discovering them. Let me put it that way. There's another data type that's called complex. But I looked at
Ah,
your
far that
outline.
one. Mm.
I did see complex numbers there. But in mathematics, there's a group of numbers called complex numbers. They are even higher than natural numbers because they have a part that what mathematicians call imaginary part. But I don't think that we'll be looking at it. Not that it is that hard though, but I think we should just save time and examine something that you would most likely be encountering in your work.
Mm.
Mm. But it's just called complex numbers. So that one is in a somehow in a league of its own. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So let's. I think we can move on from here to something different. Okay. So have you put comments everywhere you want to put? Because we might need to move to another file.
Yeah, I think so. I'm fine. This was the one, this part that was confusing. That's why I needed to put comment there.
Okay. 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 All right. So save this file and save. You can save this file as and then you can close it.
New one. It's a new one. Thank you. Okay. So what's next?
Okay. So this one we're going to be dealing with strings. We'll just look at strings um, mostly. Since,
The network is not so quick today.
ah, it's well. I'm not. I think it's because not using Wi-Fi. My modem is it went off. So um my this thing, I'm not using Wi-Fi. But can
Okay.
you hear me now?
Yeah, I can. Just that sometimes it will now start breaking in between.
Okay, 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 okay. All right. Okay. So let's see strings. So far, all the strings you've been using double quotes, right?
I use single, I use double. I just want to get used to them.
Okay.
Once,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. All right. You want to create a variable? Let's just create a variable called name.
Okay.
And just create a variable called name. And then we'll assign what should we assign to it?
Mhm. Smith.
You said
I said name Smith.
Smith, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, go ahead. But you can put it between single or double quotation marks.
Okay, so I have a question. Like I saw
Yes.
something online and they said um they use single quotes for, is it numbers? No, not numbers per se. Okay, for instance, now I want to write just Smith. I could use single quotes, but if I want to write compound characters like a sentence, I use double quotes. Is that like an unspoken rule?
No, 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 no. Maybe it's there are some programming languages where if you use single quotes, it's for a single character. But
Mm-hmm.
Python does not do that. Python does not recognize single characters. It just has strings. So if you want to do a single character, then invariably you're saying it's a string that has only one character in it. Finished.
Okay.
So
Because the
if you
person
like, if
was saying, yeah,
mm,
sorry.
Python,
No, 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 the person was saying it for like just to have data consistency that is for
oh,
different for other apps. The person was teaching Python,
oh,
but other apps is
okay.
so that in case you encounter I say other programming languages, just in case you have to like Java now, Java's head is not so correct. Yeah,
Mm,
to disturb you. So just to get used to it. So the person was saying.
okay.
I
Okay,
just
so I
remember
think it was the person advising in terms of what they call
advice.
that thing, mm, that you should
Mm-hmm.
just use single quotes for certain things, right? And then double
Mm-hmm.
quotes for other things. Okay. But of course, what that means is that let's say you guys are in a team. So in that
Mm-hmm.
team, you people are that all numbers will be with single quotes when they are number strings. Oh. Then when it is a sentence, sentences will be with double quotes. So that would be like a convention among programmers in a team, so that when they see each other's codes, they can immediately identify, you know,
Okay.
which is which. Uh-huh. So that's a convention. But then what happens now when you now want to work on a different project that kind of convention is not um,
Mhm.
in place? You still have
And
to
then
understand that
yeah,
Python can
and then,
anyone
yeah.
go. Mm.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so you have already put this thing, and that was with single quotes. Okay, cool. All right. So strings can be seen. We'll come to that later. I'm sure you've heard about arrays before, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So in Python too, strings can be seen as an array of characters, but we'll come to that later. Okay, so in the meantime, um, let's say you want to actually type on a sentence. So on the next line, we're going to have um, we'll have full name. Okay, no, let's say surname. Let's call the next one surname. The next variable surname. Okay, so Smith surname should be, what should we call him? White. Smith White. Uh-huh. Okay, all right. So let's now have another variable and we'll call it full name. Okay, okay. So we'll assign name. Then we can use what do you call it? The plus sign.
Okay.
So yes, name then plus. So if you want, you can put surname, yes, immediately after that. So we're
Okay.
going to print full name and see what's inside after that line now. Okay, full name. So you see this thing that you're doing. Remember that you said that last class, I was telling you something about IntelliSense, right? Do you
Yes.
remember?
Yes, I do.
Uh-huh. If it's Visual Studio that I know, and maybe NetBeans, I don't know about Eclipse. I've not really used Eclipse. NetBeans and to a large extent, but I'm sure Visual Studio. As you're typing that full name, Visual Studio has already remembered that you declared a variable called full name before. So it will help you by suggesting it. You just
Just
like autocorrect. You understand
Mhm.
what I mean? You remember autocorrect, right? As soon as you
Yeah.
are typing, as soon as you are typing, it will suggest that variable name. So immediately you see it, you can now hit enter and it will put it in there for you. It just helps you to be faster. But of course, no, I'm not saying that this ID is not that good though. At least you can see it uses colors to differentiate certain things, which is nice. Uh-huh.
I think I'll
Okay,
try that
so
to the Visual Studio.
the Visual Studio will be yes.
Mhm.
But of course, you may have to do some workings on it for that you can use it for Python. The default languages you have for Visual Studio sometimes is C# and those other ones. So
I'll check
uh,
that. I think I have it. It came with the operating system.
okay, good. Okay, so let's see what shows up on this side.
Let me see.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, there's no space. Need white. So to
Okay.
create a space, let me
Mhm.
behave like an expert.
Where do you want to put the space?
In between his name and the surname. Let me show you.
All right.
Ta-da.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Uh-huh. So so that's good. So at least we can see now that that day we were talking about operator overloading, right? The plus
Mm-hmm.
sign can be used for normal addition, and it can also be used for what concatenation. That's
Yes.
given. So
Yeah.
that's a good one for strings. Okay, so this scenario usually comes up in most programs. Let's say you want to write a sentence like this. Smith's mom came yesterday. So that's Smith with apostrophe S, right? Smith's mom came yesterday. How would you achieve that?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Ask me how to do this. It's not just a print statement. Or do
No,
I have to break?
let's pretend that variable. Yes, let's pretend that it's in a variable. Okay, yes, you can do a print statement. Yes, that's perfect. It's still okay. How would you show it?
Um,
Just a print statement, yes. So print, you can type, just do your print statement. Then what would you put inside?
I'll put the whole sentence.
Uh-huh. Now, are you using double quotes at the beginning? And let me see.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Uh-huh. Okay. All
So,
right. Finish it up.
yeah, please say it again. Smith's mom.
Smith's mom came yesterday. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. So what did you notice? Now, I didn't say anything. I wanted
Um,
to see how you feel about it. Why is it that you use double quotation marks instead of single to start the sentence?
well, I would say that I'm just getting used to. I just want to get used to the convention because um I told you I've used Java before, and in Java when they were teaching, it was
Mm-hmm.
they used double quotes most of the time. I didn't even know you could use single quotes until I started saying Python. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning to use single quotes. Let's just say that in English.
Okay. Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
I'm used to double quote, but from what I've read, even in my book, it also said
Mm-hmm.
that convention that you for compound statements you should use double quotes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. So you just understand that when you have to do something like sentences, right? To be on the safe side, you use double quotes. Okay.
Yeah.
So the thing to this particular one like this, we are going to do another one now that's a bit tricky. You see that single quote that is there, the apostrophe S. Because apostrophe is still single quote that you will use for it. If you
Yes.
had used single quotes to start this sentence, do you know that you would have had an error?
Oh, because the scene three tell you that one is not close.
Thank you.
Oh.
That because the Python interpreter reads it like from the beginning to the end. So when it sees
Mm-hmm.
that VS, it has seen the first opening quotation mark, which is single. When it sees that apostrophe S, it will to it you have ended the string.
Yeah.
Then only for it to now see another one somewhere at the end, and it's wondering what exactly is this one doing. It doesn't have a closing quotation mark. You understand? You would have a
Yeah.
syntax error. Okay,
Okay.
so
Mm-hmm.
this way that you typed it is the best way to do it, to go about it. So anytime you have a string where you see single quotation mark somewhere playing inside it,
Mm-hmm.
then make sure that you surround it with what? Double quotation marks.
Okay.
You
Okay.
got that?
Yes, I.
Okay. So let's now imagine that we have a scenario where we have double quotation marks within within a sentence, right? And you want to do it in a print statement. What do you think we will do?
Quotation mark. Do you have to like close it up like in a, I don't know, braces or something? I don't know.
Okay. Let's see an example.
Mm-hmm.
Um. Okay. Okay. So we'll use another print statement for this one. Um. So we'll say print. My name is Smith. So you have print. Uh-huh. My name is Smith. Now that Smith will be with double quotation marks. So what
Okay,
this
so
sentence
I
for it,
should, I should still use double quotation mark for everything.
we'll use single this time.
Okay.
Uh-huh. My name is Smith. Thank you. Yes, exactly. Uh-huh.
Like
Thank
this.
you. Yes, perfect.
Okay, so let me
Yes,
attempt to run it.
yes. So now
Oh, it's not.
look.
Yeah,
How did it
it
okay, it
ran.
came out.
Yeah, and
Uh-huh.
it came out with the quotation mark.
Exactly. Okay.
What if I had used double quotation marks also to still run now, right?
That same error that you would have had with if you had used single quotation mark where you had single quotation mark as part of the string would have
Mm-hmm.
happened. I've told you
Okay,
that that one, it's not balanced, so some kind of syntax error will occur.
let me try again. I think this, yeah, perhaps you forgot a comma. Mhm. Okay. To even be giving you suggestion of what it thinks you missed.
Exactly.
Mhm. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So there's this the next thing that we want to say about strings is the fact that a string can be a multi-line string. So multi-line strings is, just imagine that you want to do like a paragraph, right? You want to do a paragraph. John went to school once upon a time. John went to school, blah 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 blah. No, it's not just a single line. All what we've been doing now is just single line, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so there are sometimes you can have what we call a multi-line string. So Python supports that. So how do we do multi-line strings? Well, somebody might say, do we really need that kind of thing? Well, you never can tell what scenario you might be presented with. So multi-line strings are possible too. So for that, for us to do multi-line strings, we will use 3 quotation marks to surround it. So 3 quotation marks beginning, 3 quotation marks ending. Okay, so that's how we go about it. So let's see. We can just do a short one that has 2 lines, and let's see how it's done. So you can go to the next line and do your print statement. Okay, so you can do 3, either single or double, anyone you want. Let's try double, 3 double quotation marks.
Okay.
So we'll just say, once upon a time, okay. Now you see that's you've already closed the parentheses for print, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking at this thing now. Will it? I hope it will not give us. Okay. All right. Hit enter.
Come out from the listen.
Not after it.
No, okay, I should come out.
No, yes.
Should I
You know
okay,
it.
let me know. Should I close I've opened it up.
Okay. Oh yeah. Go to the next line.
Mm-hmm. Like this.
Okay. Yes. There lived a boy called Smith. Uh-huh. Okay. All right. Now let's just do dot 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 and then do 3 double quotation marks. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can close your print statement.
Okay.
All right. So go ahead and run it.
Oh, okay.
So what can you see the multi-line showing the way exactly how you expected it?
Yeah. I actually thought you have to like how you the print a new line character or something.
Oh, like in Java, right?
Mm-hmm.
JavaScript. Yes. Okay. So you can see how Python makes it easy for you. You don't need to do that new line thing. It will immediately it sees those 3 quotation marks. It understands that you are planning to do multi-line. So if you like, have 10 lines, so have 20 lines until it sees the second set of triple quotation marks. It will understand that everything there is part of the string.
Okay. That's nice.
Okay. You don't need to put comment for this one now. This one is quite explanatory, Abby.
Yeah, it is. I actually wrote
Okay.
it down somewhere, so that's why.
Uh, okay, nice. Okay, good. Okay. So, do you still have more time? Should I continue?
I have like 10, 15 minutes.
Okay, okay. All right, good. Okay. Mm. Okay. Let me see. Okay, so let's go to what I talked about at the beginning, that I said that strings were also known as an array. Now, if I ask you what's the meaning of an array, how would you define an array?
Okay, let me use like normal, they say array of flowers, different types of flowers, or
Mm-hmm.
um array ice cream with different flavors of the
Mm-hmm.
ice. I think that's what I would say. They say
Okay,
colors, different colors. Yeah, that's what I understand by array.
okay, okay. So if you now want to bring it down to programming terms, how would you define it?
Ah, we do is Magomago I used to define that one.
This one that you gave me now English definition.
Well, if you
But
want
it's
me
still
to give it as wuru answer.
it still applies. Okay. So okay, I know you have an idea of it. Especially from a language like Java. So in any programming language, this applies to anyone, and that's why I'm so. Whenever I'm teaching somebody any language, I just tell the person that you see the skills you've learned in this language. More often than not, you can apply the same concept, the same understanding of that concept to another programming language. So the only thing I say about Python is that there are some things you will see in Python, you will not see them. There's no other programming language on earth that you will see them. And that's because Python just, I don't know how to say it, like it goes an extra length to, you know, it's in its own way to simplify things, you know, try and simplify things as much as possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's why I said that there's like that string multiplication now is very alien to Java. Of course, not
Mhm.
even talking about JavaScript. I mean, how will you be multiplying a string by a number? That kind of thing did not come up. And I'm not sure even the people that created Java will want to add that to the Java language definition. But yeah, Python has it. So with an array, the concept of array, this one goes across all languages. An array, just look at an array as a collection of individual data that are related in some way. So for instance, you can have a collection of integers, like you said, a collection of colors, right? Blue, red, green, all of them are colors. So if you carry them together, take note of how I'm saying it, taking them together as one unit of data makes them an array. So all this while, even from this program that we're looking at in front of us, when you want to create a variable, what did you notice? You can only assign one piece of data to that variable per time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good. So if you want to assign, okay, like in this one now, you said name is Smith, right?
Mhm.
If you want to assign another name like Ronke to
Mhm.
this same name, guess what will happen to that Smith? It's lost, isn't it?
Yes.
Except if
But
later on you now decide again to assign Smith again. And once you assign Smith to it, that Ronke that you used to replace Smith initially will be lost again. So it is only the last value that the variable will recognize. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
yeah.
The last
Yeah.
thing that was assigned to it, it will remember. So,
Mhm.
but then there are times that okay, you want to keep Smith, you want to keep Ronke, maybe you want to add Abigail to it. You want to keep three of them. That's where an array comes to help you. You understand? An array will help. You can carry 100 names, if you like, if you want to put 100 names, and take all of them together as one unit, you can do that with an array. Okay, so if you can think of an array like multiple variables moving together. Okay. Yes, and of course, you can trust that with arrays, there are ways that you can do what, handle those several data that is carrying. We use indexes. I'm sure you would understand what I mean by indexes by the time we start using it. Okay, so that's just a small background. Don't worry, I'll remind you again when we want to look at arrays proper. But for now, let's look at arrays, strings as arrays. Okay, so which one should we use now? Let me look at it. We have Smith and we have White. Okay, no problem. Let's deal with Smith first. Then we'll go to White. All right, so you see that Smith, right? Remember, a string is made up of individual characters. So if I ask you, how many characters are there in that string called Smith, how many would you say?
I'll say 5 or 1.
5. No, the number of characters.
So it's 5.
Yeah, it's 5. So S is 1, M 2, I 3, T 4, and H is 5. That's correct. Now, if you want to see this name Smith as a string, we're going to, so on the next line, do your print statement. So you're going to print, now in between the parentheses for print, you say name, we're going to use square brackets now. You know the square brackets, right?
Yeah.
Aha, perfect. No, you see, the print still has its own parentheses.
Oh, that one is still outside. Okay.
Yes, that one is outside.
Okay.
So the square brackets come immediately after the E in name.
Okay.
So you have to
Okay.
delete.
Sorry.
Yes.
Because you mentioned it, I just put it immediately. Okay. So this this an index now, right?
Perfect. Yes, that's it. So let's say we wanted to see the first character in Smith. What do you think the index will be?
0. I know that one.
Exactly. Go ahead. So you can put 0 there.
Okay.
So let's execute it and see what it will show us.
I know this one from Java.
Exactly. Yes. Because it's exactly
the Java I did is just maybe like chapter 1 to 2.
It's better than nothing, no. Even that
Yes.
chapter 1 self is better than nothing. Yes.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay.
Yes. All right. So what you just did now is you treated the string and the string as an array by doing that. So if you want to access the other ones too, of course, M is going to be name 1, I is going to be name 2, T is going to be name 3, and H is going to be name 4. Okay, so it's very safe for us to say that the highest index in any string is simply the number of characters in that string minus 1.
Oh.
Did you get that?
I'm writing it down.
Yeah. Okay.
So the highest index in any string is the what? Number of characters minus 1.
Number of characters in the string minus 1. Okay.
Okay.
You got that right?
Yes.
Okay. Now the next thing we're going to see is that the number of characters in a string is obtained by a function called len. Len. It's short. But Python tries to make things easy. So the name of the function is len. Okay, just like you have print and you open parentheses. The name of this function is len. So let's use that function now so that you see its use. So you can say print. We're going to do print.
Print,
And
okay.
yes, after the opening parenthesis for print, you put your len. Remember, all lowercase.
Yeah.
And then open parenthesis after the n in len. And then in between, you're going to say, let's see how many characters are in Smith, for instance. So you type name. Okay. All right. So yes, exactly. So go ahead and run it.
Okay, so it's 5.
Yes. So all right. So that's for how to use the len. Now, do you want to try out the second one?
Which one? Sorry.
The number of characters in surname.
Okay, I could do that one.
Yes.
What about full name?
Yes, go ahead. You can also try full name too. It depends on I don't know how many characters you put in between those single quotes, but it will add up everything. So you can try
Yeah,
it too.
I put only one.
Okay, only one. Okay, good.
Okay.
So
This will be
we're
10.
expecting at
Yeah, 11. I put only one.
perfect. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So if I want to do, sorry, I want to do index for that space. Let me see what will come out.
Oh yeah, now go ahead.
What do you- So that's 0. You gave it space.
You expect
Yeah, that's all. I wanted to see how it will come out. So it came out as a space. That's very interesting.
yes.
Okay, noted.
Okay. So okay, so I want us to just see one more thing. So remember I said something now that the index of the last character, isn't it, is the number of characters minus 1.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see that play out now. So on the next line, type this print.
Should I do it under the string as arrays? What?
You can do it as the next line.
Okay. Because these ones are together.
Oh, okay, okay,
Mhm.
okay, okay, no problem now. Let's see.
But I can take these ones up and bring it down.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's still related to arrays. It's
Okay.
related to arrays.
So print.
So, mhm. um, okay, okay, let's use full name. Full name. Open square bracket. Len, Len, and then normal parenthesis. Full name again. Full name. Then close the parentheses. Then
Close.
-1. Now close the square bracket and then close the parentheses for print. Yes.
Okay.
Look at that carefully. I hope you understand what is there, right?
So the full name, then the name for the full name. Okay.
Does it make sense?
Yes. So like for this one now, the previous one, it was full name
Mm.
and just print what is the fifth
Yeah.
number.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
The fifth name. So now for this one, you have the full name, and then
Mm-hmm.
you're not printing the length of the full name -1. So that's the highest number. Okay.
Yes. Yes. The highest index. So that means, in other words, the last character, if you like.
Mhm. Let's see how it goes.
Okay.
Mhm. An E.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the white. Okay. That's this one.
Yes. Yes.
Mhm. Mhm.
So now, I'm sure you are thinking, where would this kind of thing apply? So let's imagine a scenario where you tell your user to enter something from the keyboard, right? Just enter a string. At the point of the program running, you can't tell how many characters the person types. Do you get? By the time you are
Yeah.
writing your program, the person can type in 100 characters. Another user can type in 500 characters. Another user can type in 15 characters. So in that case, the content of the variable, the string variable, maybe like full name now, you can't tell. So to write a program that can embrace every possible input, whether it is 100 characters or 500 characters, 10 characters, 1 character, 2, 5, 17, to write a program that will take care of all those scenarios. This statement that you just typed now, as simple as it looks, uh, it will handle all those scenarios. Why? Because it doesn't presume that your string has a particular number of um, um, characters in it. It just says find how many characters are in it, subtract 1 from it, right? And get me the character that is at that index. Do you get? So
Yeah.
this is how you can get the last character in any of those strings.
Okay. Maybe
So
let's
you see,
see
yes,
reword application to make more sense.
yes, you will see this thing playing out in different areas, because sometimes functions are rarely used in isolation. So you will see one function inside another function, and if you are not used to it like this, you may be confused. But if you look at it very well, treat the function that is innermost, that's the one that's inside first. That's the one that will get executed first. Then start coming out, look at the next function that comes on the left-hand side. That's the next one that will now get executed before the final one. Okay. So I had there's a name that they call this thing. I think some people call it nesting. Nesting, where one construct is inside another one. Okay. In this case, let me see what we have. We have learn, the function learn,
Yeah.
inside that array square brackets, right? Some
Mhm.
people view it as a function too, but it's not really a function. It's just a
That's
way
all.
for us to it's not a function per se, but somehow you've nested the call to learn inside that full name square brackets index setup, then you now have everything inside the print statement. Okay, so everything inside will happen first before the print statement will now finally happen.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Woo, that's a
Okay.
lot.
Okay, so I think, let me see. I think we've done enough for today. You can just like try to um absorb everything that we've done today, especially the ones that you had questions with.
I'll look at them again.
Okay, all right. So possibly by the next class we'll finish up with strings, treating strings as arrays. Then we'll move on to something else.
Do you have any homework for me?
Yes. I will send it. I think, you were able to open WhatsApp web on your system, Abby?
Yes. Um,
Okay. So I just wanted a way that will be convenient for you, so you can still get, so that you don't have to type everything. So I'll send it to you via WhatsApp.
I was about typing, and I remember that, oh, I have this, and I just opened it up, copied and pasted.
Uh, oh, okay. I said, I hope that you will not eventually gonna start trying to type.
Yeah, I won't. I always look for short methods. So I would
Ah,
definitely find out what to do. I don't like stress. So.
telling you, none of us we don't like it at all.
Yeah. So when is
Okay,
the
so
next
I'll send.
class?
Okay, so let's see. We said Saturday now, Abi.
Well, what time Saturday? So
Oh,
I'll be free from Saturday will be at night for you.
mm,
I'll be free from
mm. You said, was it 12 noon? You said.
actually that 12 minutes dicey. From one. It's normally one.
Okay, 1. Okay, so that's
Yeah,
8 o'clock.
eight
8
for
o- 8
you.
o'clock. Okay.
Mm. So you can just do 1 hour. Not bad.
Mm, okay. Okay. All right. No problem. We'll work with that. Mm.
So if that doesn't work for you, then oh no, Sunday. Mm. Well, anyhow, we'll see how it works.
It will work. I'll make out. I'll try and make out time then. 8
Okay.
o'clock is it's not that late.
Mm. Thank you very much, Mr. Charles. Um,
All
oh, I
right.
wanted to go to the Visual Studio. Let me open it first and see.
Oh,
Let me show you.
okay.
Yeah, so this one now they're telling me open repository. You can enter my reach here, I just run away. Mhm.
Okay.
Is this how
For Yes, this is how it looks. Yes. So this is the new one. It's okay. So click on create new project. Let's see the possible projects that you can create. So it will show you. Okay. All languages.
Mhm.
Let's see. Python. Okay, nice. It says what?
Platforms?
Up. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Select Windows. Okay. Mm,
Project types.
mm, hmm. I think just leave that one. Leave it for project types. Let's see whether it will
Like
even
that,
give you
right?
options. Uh,
Okay.
okay. So do you see what is happening? It's not a click. That next is supposed to highlight. That next is supposed to get activated.
Mhm. Yeah.
So there's an add-on. They call them add-ins that should be installed that would have allowed you to
Okay.
actually create Python. It's
So that's
saying
why I
not
say
finding info. Uh-huh.
install more tools. I'm
Yes.
able to locate. This one, I think I have looked for trouble for this Visual Studio. I'll go and find what I did. Because initially, I tumbled this thing because of Java. So I have to figure out.
Okay.
I actually offended many programs that period.
Oh,
Then I packed up.
wow.
Mm. Yeah. Okay, no problem. Thank you very much, Mr. Charles. Hmm. Let
Okay.
me resume
Uh,
my day. So
all right. All right.
have a blessed day.
Okay. Okay. You too. Regards to the girls. So.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Okay. Welcome.